time to talk about the Cast 2.0 Freetour bindings.
Really?
You wonder what I like about the Cast system? Now I have my full binding.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Do I like them? Do I love them? Do I hate them? Am I somewhere in the middle there? I think I'm somewhere in the middle there. The best part of the binding is the fact that you get to ski with your Look pivot bindings. You do not have to buy the pivots from Cast. So you can use your Look 15 or 18 bindings. I think there's a spring that needs to change or something. But anyways, if you just want to buy the toe piece kit and the brakes, you can buy that. But I chose to buy the full kit. It was like $800. And it's got a really cool purple, which looks pretty good on my Black Crowes Corvus here. But it doesn't come without its issues. I'm going to tell you right now. Transitioning is definitely now longer, but that's okay. So you give up some time to actually ski your downhill bindings, that's the part I really like. It's very confidence inspiring to not be skiing down terrain on pin bindings. Your level, your brain is just switches to a different level, knowing that you're locked into your pivot bindings. So as far as skiing them with the Cast, I don't find it any different than skiing my other skis with the pivot bindings. It just seems to be exactly the same. So that part is all great. The problems I personally have, the toe piece is so quiet, you can't hear it, the little click when you're locked in. And I had 2 blowouts when I thought I was locked in. And if you're touring around Whistler, there's so many people, everybody's like blah, 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 blah. And you have to reef on this thing and you think you have it, but you don't. So that's hard to get locked in place. The other thing is the brakes and the heel lifts aren't that simple. Let's talk about removing the toe piece. It's actually super easy. You just push the button and just give it a little nudge and off it comes. Super, super easy. Take your regular toe piece, line it up in the slots, and give it a little shove, and it's locked right back in place. And then you're right into your full Look bindings. That is the part I really love about the Cast system. Snow and ice can get in here, and I have not had any issue changing the bindings over. It's amazing how easy this is to do. Even in snow like this. Or that little spring in there just not performing. Seems to do quite well. And what I also carry is this little brush. So when you're switching your bindings and it's all covered and stuff, you just give it a quick little brush and you're good to go. But the changeover is pretty easy. You just throw those in your bag and you're good to go. Now locking the brakes, that's a whole other issue as well. Not that easy. You have to pull down the brake. We can do it here. Pull your little piece over and push the brakes in a little bit. Well, it's hard to do like that. And you basically push down and you have to hear a little click. If you don't hear that little click, that's not going to be locked in. And your brakes are going to fall down once you start going. So you have to make sure you hear that little click. It's very subtle. You can barely hear it. And honestly, I struggled the first 10 times using it because I thought I had it, and next thing you know, a brake falls down, and it's just like, oh, gotta get. It's not where you can just step on it again. You got to get down on the ground and do this whole reset. Well, after an epic cow day yesterday, I'm having problems. Didn't click. And then sometimes releasing them is also another pain, but there you go. I just squeeze them and off you go. So not that big of a deal, but it's one of those quirks that there is. And while you're touring, so let's get a boot in here. So very hard to do when your foot's not in here. So you would think I'm locked in, but if you do any touring, you know you gotta pull your toe piece up. Oh. I think, see, right now I think I'm locked in, but I didn't hear that click, so I don't know if I am or not. And let's talk about the heel lifts. So the heel lifts, very easy to do with your hand. Now when you're touring and you want to do a heel lift, not so simple. You need to get your pole underneath here. Luckily my Dioram poles have a nice flat hook. I don't even know if my other poles would work on here because this is... So I guess my black diamond poles will work pretty good as well. Just not on a flat. So you are basically going to have to lean the pole back a bit. And that might be a bit awkward, or it might be alright. And then there you go. There's not much room here to get something underneath. So it's got, the Dioram poles have a nice hook and up you go. So not an easy task, doable, but again, it's one of those little quirks of the system that you have to put up with to ski with your look bindings. So what's my verdict on the Cast 2.0 system? I kind of like it. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but it is a pain in the ass. Honestly, it is a pain in the ass. There's been times where it's like, I don't even want to. There's been times where I'm like, I don't even want to do that again because I don't feel like going through the whole process of what it takes to do the bindings and the skins and everything where your regular touring skis are so much faster. So let me grab that. So here's my carbon G3 skis, which I've destroyed. So to get into your regular touring bindings, you basically turn your heel piece, right? Clip into your toe piece. Pull up on your toe piece to lock it in. Nice and loud sounds. So Cast could learn something from the regular touring toe pieces to change it to somehow make it a louder sound, because then you know you're locked into this. And then the bindings, you just basically push down, and now your binding's basically locked. And then to get out of these, it's just simple, push down, very easy. And to release your bindings, basically turn your heel piece, and simple, very, very, very simple. The only difference is you don't have a DIN setting on these like you do on your regular binding, so it doesn't come up to the standard of the DIN. So the big difference is the brake is much simpler to operate. Like I've never had one of these brakes fall down where the Cast, I had to fall down a lot. So, and getting the toe piece clicked in is very easy. So that's a huge difference. I just kind of wish that the cast toe piece definitely had some kind of better sound. This is all plastic on the cast, this piece here. Maybe that could be switched out to metal. I don't know. Like, I'm sure it keeps the weight down, but just the way that that clicks in and you can hear it. Makes a huge difference when you're going touring. It's so loud. I'm not saying it's any easier to get into than this one. It's about the same entry. It's just that you can really hear that. Anyways, so biggest tour I've done on these now has been a 5-hour climb.
Wow. But kind of got to there, it was like, it's
And I didn't find it weight-wise that much of a problem. Those G3 skis are a lot lighter than this setup, but honestly, I didn't find that it was any kind of an issue for me. So if you want to get your cast, you just go on the cast website and you buy some, if there is any, because they sell out pretty quick. So I have the 15s. They also have the 18s. So that's the Cast 2.0 system. Love it or hate it, it definitely works.
it's a race now. The full race. Okay, I already lost. Yeah. You young fuckers. You'll see when you're 63. Woo!